Hey guys, I'm Ben from AuthenTech, and today we'll be comparing the new GoPro HERO5 BLACK versus HERO5 Session versus the Yi 4K. Now you might have seen my previous video where I pitted the Yi 4K versus GoPro's older Hero 4 camera, and it kind of blew it away. But now we have the brand new Hero 5 lineup packed with some new features and better pricing. How do they stack up? Well, let's dive in. Oh, as a quick disclaimer, before the trolls start commenting, I've received $0 from both Yi and GoPro. I literally just bought the GoPros myself. I picked them up from Best Buy, and here's my receipt. Second note, it's impossible for me to cover all the topics and comparing details that I want to. So if you have additional questions, leave me a comment down below. And lastly, I've updated all firmwares at the time of filming this video. Starting with an overview of specs and shooting resolutions, they're all kind of similar. They all can shoot 4K at 30 FPS. The Hero 5 Black and Yi can both do 1080p at 120 FPS, while the Session is close behind at 90 FPS. You can view all the resolution specs online. The new Hero 5 Black finally has a built-in screen. This is very nice and helpful. They also updated their UI and navigation, which was a good step forward, but I do still like the Yi screen a bit more. It's a tad larger, sharper, brighter image on screen, and feels faster and a bit snappier, while the GoPro was sometimes glitchy. Mine even froze up, the screen wouldn't work, power button wouldn't turn off, I had to pull the battery to restart it. Hopefully these are software bugs that will get fixed in future updates. The new Session doesn't have a touchscreen, but I do appreciate the little LCD screen to toggle a few options and view my camera settings. Plus, both the GoPros now support one button control, so even when they're turned off, you just single press and it'll auto start recording right as it turns on. The two new GoPros are out of the box waterproof. This is huge and super awesome. They're rated to go down to 33 feet. The Yi can go underwater, but you'll need to buy that underwater housing case. You won't have access to the touchscreen, and the audio will be highly muffled. More on this shortly. Next up, battery life. The Hero 5 Black has a 1220 mAh battery, Session has a built-in 1000, and the Yi is at 1400. Sorry, I did not have time to thoroughly and scientifically test this, but in my couple days of filming, I observed two things. First, I could tell the GoPros had a bit more juice lasting longer compared to their older models. And secondly, here are the battery percentages after a few hours of filming. The Session clearly wins by having no touchscreen, with the Yi in second place. Next is the most important topic in my opinion. How's the actual image quality, dynamic range, clarity? Starting with some side-by-side comparison shots, make sure you're viewing this in 4K if you can, and you'll be able to make out some slight differences. I first tried comparing all in a flat color profile, and the GoPros killed the Yi 4K in that division, just because the Yi's color balance is way off when shooting flat. It's pretty terrible. So then I switched to how most people, the average shooter, will be capturing, and that's with a normal color profile turned on. Here's a few of my observations. Straight up, each camera looks pretty dang good. Even the tiny Session cam holds up well. When zooming in on the details, I think I like the image quality and clarity of the Hero 5 Black the best, with the Yi in a very close second place, though it's almost relative to personal opinion. I'll let you guys decide. Dynamic range is impressive on all three, even shooting at very high contrast scenes. There's often plenty of details left in both the highlights and shadows. Jumping to some low light tests, I first compared all three at dusk. I found the two GoPros to be a tad too saturated, though this can easily be fixed if you're shooting a flat profile. Also, the Hero 5 Black has a bit more details in the dark areas over the Session cam, but the Yi holds up best with clarity in the shadows and even better in the highlights. And then I filmed when it was nighttime, turning on auto low light options in each camera and raising the ISO limits. The Hero 5 Session has a lower ISO limit and was pretty dark and kinda unusable. Then we have the Hero 5 Black, and it can see a lot more in the dark. However, the image was pretty noisy and grainy at high ISO and a strong reddish hue. Last up was the Yi 4K, which I personally think produced a bit more accurate colors in the dark with much less ISO noise and a cleaner image in the shadows. For these two low light tests, I'd rate the Yi on top. Moving on to another big feature, stabilization. My test was pretty scientific. I basically walked and scooted around while holding the cameras taped to a piece of cardboard. They all did pretty well, but side by side, I think I'd have to rate the Yi for the best stabilization, with the Hero 5 Black in a very close second. the Session in third place. However, all these cams must be placed in a lower resolution for stabilization be turned on. All these were shot at 2.7K wide angle, and I think the Yi image quality was the worst at this res. It's downgraded quite a bit, while the GoPro still maintained a nice image. It's a bit of a compromise. Next up, a lot of you asked about microphones, so here's some audio comparison shots for you. This is an audio test, GoPro HERO5 Black. Audio test 2, GoPro HERO5 Session. Audio test 3, Yi 4K. Audio test, GoPro HERO5 Black. Audio test, GoPro HERO5 Session. Audio test, Yi 4K. Test. 1, 2, 3. In my opinion, the GoPros win this one. Also note, the HERO5 Black has 3 mic ports, constantly auto switching and balancing, or you can switch to manual control. Plus it has external microphone support, and both GoPros work great underwater. Audio test 1, 2. Since the Yi has to be placed inside that case, audio is almost impossible underwater, so GoPro wins for all things audio and water. Okay, so lastly and importantly, price. The HERO5 is $400. It finally has that built-in touchscreen and a ton of other new features and improvements. Lots of things I didn't even get a touch on, like built-in GPS, HDMI port, exposure control, RAW and HDR still photos, voice control, some great bonus features that help warrant that price tag. Next, the new Session is $300. Okay, so not bad. I love its small form factor, plenty of shooting resolutions and frame rates, and overall can produce some great looking shots. Lastly is the Yi 4K, and it's only $250. It captures great looking shots, has a fantastic touchscreen built in, and it's cheaper than both. So here's my closing thoughts. Thank you GoPro for stepping up to the plate. Their new HERO5 cams are greatly improved all around, priced a bit more competitively. I'd say you can't really go wrong with any of them, as it depends on what your budget is and what key features you're looking for. If you're needing something more affordable yet can capture fantastic shots, the Yi 4K might be the best action cam for you. But if you're looking for a lot more features packed in, the very best of the best image quality, lots of underwater usage, external audio input, then I'd definitely recommend going with the HERO5 Black. And what about the Session? Well, most days I'd recommend the Yi over the Session because it's cheaper and has that built-in screen, but if you're really needing that built-in waterproof and hardcore durability, or you need that ultra small form factor, that's when the Session might be perfect for you. Hopefully my comparison helped you out today. Make sure you're subscribed, as I'll definitely be reviewing the new Karma drone as well as the new DJI Mavic. Be sure you smack that thumbs up button if you want to see those videos, and until next time, let's live authentic.